Sprawdzimy Dual Universe. Nie wiem jak to nazwać. Kolejne MMO w kosmosie, za które trzeba płacić pieniądze, by grać. Czyli jest, jak to się ładnie nazywa, na abonament, no ale ja poklikałem i dostałem. Ja muszę tylko zalogować, nie patrzcie teraz chwilowo. Zobaczycie Marka, który płacze. No i już się loguje. Zaraz będzie. Ok. Czy widziałem Second Extinction? Nie wiem co to jest. Jest smutne piękno. Czy będzie dziś Kojima? Mogę go na chwilę odpalić, jak zostało mniej niż 5 minut. Czy muzyka jest ze Stellaris? Nie grałem dużo w Stellaris niestety. Ale zaraz zobaczymy. O jak to pianinko smutnie gra. Tak, zaraz odlecę w moim statku w samotności.
To start, let's make sure your motor skills are not affected. Simply head towards the green waypoint behind the stairs, using the movement keys.
Dałem najwyższe detale. Nie wiem, czy jest komputer, który jest w stanie je uciągnąć. Tak, bo tak chodzi u mnie. To nie są na Twitchu lagi, jakby co. Okay. Więc zobaczmy. W panelu ukrywa się H. W lewym dolnym rogu baba mówi, co mam robić, bo to jest początek. Tak, Restart Core Tutorial. Ja nie wiem, którym to zrobić. F? Środkowym? Prawym? Prawym coś tu jest. Wyłącz szybki tekst. Szybkie SVG. Okay. Ale jak użyć? To chyba się wciska. Das guzik.
Welcome to Alioth, Novian.
Okay.
I'm Ophelia, the Arkship AI. I will assist you in your first steps, seeing as you just woke up from an extended cryosleep period. Keep an eye on the chat window in the lower left part of the screen. It contains a transcript of what I say, with important information about which keys to press.
Jak ktoś pyta, czy materiał jest opłacony. Jutro będzie opłacony. W czwartek, przepraszam.
I have marked it with a green waypoint. You can also abort the tutorial by pressing the abort key at any time, but this is not recommended. You have much to learn after your long cryosleep. To start, let's make sure your motor skills are not affected.
Okay, jesteśmy tutaj.
Simply head towards the green waypoint behind the stairs, using the movement keys.
Więc gra bazuje na wokselach. O, czyli są jacyś ludzie już tutaj. Czy ktoś za to płaci. Więc tak, chodzimy, zbieramy materiały, składamy swój statek, latamy po kosmosie. I tyle. Dałem najwyższy poziom wszystkiego. Nie wiem, czy można to zobaczyć. Był jeden filmik na początku, ale do niego dojdziemy później. Więc grafika, ilość rdzeni. Nie wyłączyłem motion blur, głębi ostrości, jakość voxeli na 3.0, cienie środowiskowe i dynamiczne cienie na ultra. I działa jeszcze, nie? Jeszcze zobaczmy, co tu mamy. Akcja, alternatywna akcja, akcja kontekstowa, generał. No nic, zobaczmy. I ma być tak samo świat, który jest bez instancji. Nie? Twórcy, gdzieś tam ktoś tam mówił, że było ładne określenie, że sraczkują no wykrwawiają się, albo no tak, no wysrywają, nie, no, dobra, okej, brzydkie słowa. Potrzebują dużo pieniędzy, dlatego gra jest dostępna tylko tak, a nie inaczej. Okej, musimy dojść tam. Jezus, kurde, brzydkie słowa się pojawiły na tym.
Very good. Now, let's try to jump. You are in perfect shape. Great. Let's try your headlight, which is very useful in dark areas. Press the headlight key twice to turn it on and off.
Okej, czy dynamiczne oświetlenie jest faktycznie?
Now, take your time to look at the world around you through the glass panes. This gigantic planet is all yours to conquer,
Okay.
as well as the many other planets in the system. You are free to shape the world as you see fit. Build
To
an
mnie kręci.
empire, explore the vastness of space, create a trade federation or a pirate alliance, or live secluded on a forgotten moon. There are no rules here, except for the ones you make for yourself.
Yeah.
When you are ready, follow the waypoint and look through the marked window.
Okej. Waypoint i spójrz przez okno.
The buildings in front of you are one of the many district areas of Alioth. Districts contain all the facilities that you will need to begin your journey. In particular, they host institutes where various tutorials are located. We will get back to that later. Let's
Aha.
prepare you for the journey. Head downstairs and follow the waypoint. Continue down and get close to the screen, marked with a green waypoint.
Włączyłem licznik klatek, ale nie wiem jak się włącza. Może gdzieś
Let's
jest.
begin with your tools. Tools are located at the bottom of the screen in the form of quick access slots.
Wow.
You can select them with the quick access keys. As you can see, the last slot is currently empty. We will now learn how to equip a new tool in that place.
O kurde.
Approach the highlighted tool dispenser
Leworęczny
unit
w
next
ogóle.
to you.
Highlighted tool dispenser next to you. No to jest chyba to.
Dispensers are elements, which are objects you can deploy in the world. For example, chairs, windows, plants or doors are all elements. Some elements, like this dispenser, can be activated by pressing the activate key while pointing at them. Activate the dispenser now.
Jak skaner działa? No nic.
Very good. The dispenser just gave you a new tool that is now stored in your inventory. The inventory contains everything you can carry around with you. Let's open it by pressing the inventory key. The inventory is a central interface for managing everything you carry around with you. It contains items like tools, materials, elements, or blueprints. For now, locate the repair tool that was just given to you, and simply drag and drop it into the free slot below.
Coś się zbugowało, nie widać tych slotów. Halo, Ofilia. Chyba niepotrzebnie poklikałem na to i zasłoniło mi. I teraz już powinno być dobrze.
Well done. Note that the inventory does not have an infinite capacity, it is restricted in volume. Thanks to the nanopack technology, this volume is pretty huge. Still, it is better to keep an eye on the size of objects you store. Now, close the inventory by pressing the close cross on the top right.
Już zrobiłem bez problemu. Muszę to zrobić niestety.
Okay. We are now ready to continue downstairs. This time, we will need to use an elevator. Move to the waypoint.
Nawiązanie do Mass Effecta. Uwaga. To jest...
Elevators are connected together via up and down links. Stepping onto an elevator and pressing the crouch key or the jump key will allow you to transfer to the next or previous elevator in the chain. Simply step on the elevator and press the crouch key to go down.
Wow.
Welcome to the main room. You can go back anytime by stepping on the same elevator and pressing the jump key to go up. In front of you is a miniature reproduction of the Ark ship. You can perhaps see the real Ark ship through the windows in the distance. Let's try to also find it on your map. To open the map, press the map key. This is Alioth, the planet on which you
Okej,
currently
podoba mi się to.
stand. Each of these tiles is a territory you can claim. Tiles in red are already claimed. Tiles in purple are non-claimable, and mostly exist around the Ark ship. The Ark ship is represented by a small icon in the center of the
Gdzie jest
purple
Polska?
tiles area. At any time, you can center onto your position on the map by pressing the center icon on the top left. Try it now. You can
Wow.
also create a waypoint anywhere on the surface of the planet. Waypoints are displayed in your HUD so that they are easy to track. To set a waypoint, simply right-click on a point on the map and select Set as
Chcę
Destination.
mieć własną wyspę.
Do this now.
Nie, to nie może być zwykły waypoint. Dziwne, słońce się obraca ze mną chyba. Tu. Półwysep, tu mi wejdą jakieś dziady. Kurczę, rozplenili się ci ludzie na tej planecie. Chciałbym gdzieś mieszkać w spokoju, żeby nikt... Zrobię sobie... Ciekawe, że można robić kopalnię, jak w Minecrafcie. Chcę mieć wyspę. Otoczę ją murem. Tu.
Very good. Next, the selector area here allows you to list your constructs, review bookmarks, and see any available warp beacons or other points of interest. In the lower right corner, you can find the list of current objectives in a tutorial, usually with hints on how to achieve them. Close the map to continue. You may have seen on the map that certain territory tiles are claimed. To claim a tile, as you can see, it's quite huge. Once a territory unit
That's
is
what she
deployed
said.
onto a tile, the tile belongs to you. This means that you can start to build constructs on it, you can decide who holds rights to dig the ground, and who can build next to you. Territory units are quite expensive and will probably not be the first thing you deploy on Alioth. Instead, there is a simpler way for you to grab a piece of land. Let's discover this now. Follow the waypoint behind you, and take the elevator at the end of the room. This will take us to the observatory.
Trudne wylosowało. Babo, gdzie ty mnie teraz mam iść? Muszę wziąć, okej. Chcę być w spokoju, chcę zrobić sobie domek, wykopać drzewo, ściąć glebę i tyle. Obserwatorium, co?
Welcome to the observatory. From here, you should be able to see Alioth's moons in the sky. One of them is a very special moon, called the Sanctuary Moon. We will explain what that means, but first, let's try to locate it. Open the map again by pressing the map key.
A jeszcze mam, zobaczmy. Statki są. Gleba jest. Budowanie domków, tylko żeby się dało ścinać drzewa. Gry ze ścinaniem drzew są najlepsze. Dynamiczne oświetlenie. Chyba jest. Zrobili minecraftową wodę do teleportacji kanoniczną, tak? Tutaj się poruszasz przez, kurcze, te tuby jakieś Elona.
The map also contains a solar system view.
Oho.
Click on the system tab to open it.
Halo, zaliczy mi pani to? Tylko nie zaliczyła, ale...
Here you can see all the planets currently accessible in the system. Select Alioth, the planet where you currently are located, by clicking on it.
Aliot? Okay.
As you can see, Alioth has 3 moons. One of them looks a bit like a twin of Alioth and is marked with a small shield icon. This is the Sanctuary Twin Moon, or the Twin for short. Select it by clicking on it.
A ja, po co? Wytłumacz mi to jeszcze.
Excellent. Now, let's click the Set Destination button. Good. Now, before we leave, this twin moon, just like Alioth or any other planet, is covered with tiles that you can claim. A sanctuary moon is a moon where no combat will ever occur, as it is a safe zone.
Aha.
This means that a territory you claim will remain yours forever, and nobody can take your belongings or build anything there without your
Ja chcę
consent.
dziki zachód.
This is a great way to create a safe haven to store your valuables and build your home. You can claim only one tile on a sanctuary moon, and you will need a special sanctuary territory unit for that purpose. You already have one in your inventory, so don't worry. Close the map window.
Okej. Jak na razie jest zajebiście.
Notice how the
Zobaczmy, jak to działa
sanctuary
tylko.
twin moon is now identified by the waypoint in the sky. There is a shuttle service, which you will see later, that can bring you there.
Waypoint in the sky?
Let's get back to the rest of the tutorial. Head down via the nearby elevators.
Babo, jaki waypoint in the sky? Jest Killer Kiwi, Ronan Dagal. No nic, dobra. Tutaj dobrze chodzi w miarę, mamy 20 klatek. Idź do Nie chcę kucać małpa swoją drogą.
Now is the time to present the key pillar activities that are available for Novians.
Nowe newsy.
Each will be presented here quickly, and you will be able to discover more about them via the institutes and their dedicated tutorials later. Follow the waypoint to the mining station first.
Jest górnictwo. Tak, graby z Śląska. Nie bolało? Super. Nie jest żadną grą.
Mining is how you acquire raw materials, if you don't simply buy them on the markets. Raw materials are located either on the planet's surface, or they can be buried kilometers deep underground. Surface materials have a low value, while more valuable materials, from Tier 1 to Tier 5, are found underground. The surface mining activity is performed using the harvest tool, highlighted in the toolbar below. With the tool equipped, you collect harvestable surface or by targeting them and then clicking. Press the quick access key for this tool to equip it, usually the first in the toolbar.
No. O Boże, poklikałem za szybko.
Great. Unfortunately, there are no surface harvestable ores here. To practice, you can access the dedicated tutorial in the Mining Institute.
Instytut
To
Górnictwa.
continue, unequip this tool by pressing the same quick access to mine deep underground. First you use the scanner tool highlighted here, which finds available ores in a large radius.
Uwielbiam skanery.
Once in close range, the directional detector will help you pinpoint the location of the material. Finally, the highlighted mining tool is used to collect the found material. You'll learn more about these tools in the interactive mining tutorial, located inside the Mining Institute.
Instytut jakiegoś tam.
Now, let's talk about the markets.
Market.
Approach the waypoint.
Kupuj w górce, uwielbiam ten moment. Trudne wylosowało. Tam jest jakiś waypoint. Tu są statki. O czym to gra? To jest gra, w której żyjemy sobie w kosmicznym świecie i
Markets are an essential part of Novian life. This is where you can sell the materials you mine or create, but also buy anything that you might need.
a w tyłku obcasaczek.
Markets are physically located in the world. They are accessible either via market pod units, like the one in front of you, or via the integrated nanomarket interface. The nanomarket interface allows you to browse markets at a distance, but cannot help you to deposit or recover items that are traded. For that, you will need to directly interact with a market pod. Let's have a quick look at the nanomarket interface. To open it, press the nanomarket key.
Nanomarket, tego jeszcze nie było.
You can search for an item that you would like to trade by using these search boxes. Nitron is a fuel you will often use and frequently buy. Type nitron in the search box.
Nitron
Here are the market
95.
orders for nitron. These are all the intentions to buy or sell nitron by other Novians on various markets in the solar system. You can pick the cheapest or the nearest offer, depending on your priorities. You can create your own buy or sell orders, or let the system pick the best offer for you. We will look into this at the end of this tutorial, when we will buy nitron for your speeder vehicle.
Dostanę samochodzik na koniec.
For now, let's close the nanomarket. Okay. Let's now have a look at another important activity, industry. Go to the industry station, just a few meters to the left.
Dziękuję, że pani powiedziała. Ej, ja to muszę obejrzeć, bo ktoś musi ten tutorial zrobić, żeby potem wam tłumaczyć, o co chodzi w tej grze. Nikt z was tego nie kupi, wiem o tym.
In front of you is an assembly line, one of the many industry unit elements available. These include chemical reactors, glass furnaces, refineries, or smelters. Each industry unit type specializes in certain types of recipes. The assembly line takes ingredients from an entry container, like the one here on the left, and then runs a recipe to craft elements. The elements are stored in the exit container, as seen here on the right, that can be chained as an entry container for another industry unit. The recipes are selected using the industry unit interface. You can learn about that in the dedicated industry tutorial, found at the Industry Institute. Thankfully, entry-level recipes for simple products can be run without an industry unit. For that, you can use your integrated nanocrafter. First, let's get some ingredients we will need from the nearby
Nanocrafter.
dispenser. Approach the dispenser and press the activate key.
To są holograficzne strzałki, ile ktoś to kurde zrobił w jakiejś tej CNC.
Excellent. Now, let's open the nanocrafter by pressing the nanocrafter key. We are going to craft some fuel.
Nanocrafter.
This interface allows you to pick a recipe and run it in the background to produce simple products. On the left is a selection area to pick a recipe. You currently have just a few ingredients. Now click on nitron fuel to this window shows you the necessary. Fantastic. Your job is now in the queue and a batch of nitron will be ready in a few seconds. That will be all for this short introduction.
Dziękuję.
There is of course more to know, and you can go to the Industry Institute to go through the specialized tutorials.
Idziemy stąd.
Let's close this window. Okay, now let's learn about building and how you can use all these materials and elements to create amazing constructs.
Amazing
Turn
jest
to the
licznik.
station on your right. This bizarre construction in front of you is called a construct. It is a mix of deployed voxel materials used to sculpt a shape and deployed elements to make it functional.
A,
To create a construct, you start by deploying a core unit, highlighted here. It will create a building zone, within which you will be allowed to build. Core units come in different sizes and specializations: static cores for ground buildings, dynamic cores for ships or anything that moves, and space cores for space stations. Once you have created your building zone, you can start to deploy matter as voxel honeycomb materials, or voxels for short. You have a large palette of tools and materials to help you sculpt absolutely anything you like, regardless of shape or complexity. Finally, you can add elements to your construct, in the form of engines, doors, lights, fuel tanks, or any of the hundreds of available elements that provide functionality to your builds. Building is a vast subject. It is advised to go through the various building tutorials located inside the Construction Institute. Note that the building you are currently in, as well as all the other buildings outside, are entirely made with the same building tools.
nie, tak w Matrixie.
As I mentioned,
Nie,
you can also
nie
build
wierzę.
space or atmospheric ships. Let's have a look at this now. Follow the waypoint to the next station.
Aha. Następna stacja drogi jest gdzie? No tutaj jest stacja drogi. Co to jest? Statyczek, tak?
This is a surface speeder, a cheap and
Yes.
convenient ground atmospheric vehicle. It allows you to move around planet surfaces. You'll be gifted one at the end of this tutorial.
No to super. Też to...
Everything in this speeder is functional and plays a role in making it work. Let's quickly review its different elements. Here are the hover engines, which help the speeder float above the ground. These extra small atmospheric engines are used for propulsion and moving forward. They require fuel, taken from this atmospheric fuel tank. Adjusters are small elements used to create rotational forces and help balance your ship.
Adjuster się
You also
nazywa.
need brakes to be able to slow down. And finally, you need a piloting seat to be able to fly it. Activating this piloting seat activates the ship, which is how you take control of it. All these elements are orchestrated via a Lua script that is generated automatically for you. But you can also modify it via a right-click menu on the piloting seat to create
W końcu
absolutely any
będę
kind of
programistą
control
dzięki
you
tej
like.
grze. Yes,
Note
yes,
that
yes.
piloting in the atmosphere of a planet or in outer space can be very different, and involves different types of engines and design. Gravity may ground you if you have a heavy cargo on a high-gravity planet, while it won't matter in the darkness of space. Piloting is an art, a subtle interplay between your piloting skills and the craftsmanship of the ship designer. You can learn more about piloting in the dedicated tutorials in the Piloting Institute. Piloting is not only about navigating your ship, but will often also involve combat. Look up at the fighter above your head. I've highlighted the weapons that are equipped on this small ship.
Brońki.
There are many more types of weapons, ammunition, and damage types. Each has a specific role. This is a small fighter, but you can also build giant battleships with a crew of hundreds of people, each
Wielka
assigned to
kostka
a
w
particular
kosmosie.
task. There is much more to discover about combat, so you should definitely visit the Military Institute to know more.
Okay.
Now, let's go to the last station and learn about organizations. Follow the waypoint.
Jest kosmiczne prawo i sprawiedliwość powstanie tutaj. Follow ten, tak? Jak coś, to ten. Ktoś się pytał, czy mi za to płacili. Nie, za to, co mi zapłacili, to są. Zobaczycie w czwartek, to będzie dramat.
Organizations are a fundamental part of your social life as a Novian. They are groups that you can join, covering things like nations, corporations, alliances, or even
Yeah.
a group of pirates. Let's have a quick look at the organization interface. Open it by pressing the organization. As you can expect, you are not part of any organization yet.
Stworzę swoją
Let's click
własną.
the search button to. You can search through this list,
Kościół
focusing on open
Tachawola.
organizations, which are recruiting, or sorting by member numbers, name, or language. To apply for an organization, you need to open its details page. Click on the name of any of the listed organizations to open its details page. In this window, you can see a summary of relevant information regarding this organization. This area will allow you to apply to join this organization, along with a place to write a quick introduction. Joining an organization can be a considerable boost for your new life as a Novian. Choose wisely. You can also decide to create your organization from scratch, even if this is a little bit more advanced. For example, managing an organization involves legates and members, rules, voting, and management of rights. This is something you will discover later. You can now close the organization interface.
Bonjour. No, zrobić organizację. To Kanadyjczycy, więc mają ten, niestety,
Excellent.
dwa języki.
You have covered the basics. Now, let's move to the next step and talk about talents. Follow
Co?
the waypoint.
Było w Biblii takie o talentach opowiadanie. Takie golemy słodkie. Jesteście
Open
piękni.
the talent window by pressing the talent key.
Ej. Ciekawe, co symbolizują. Dojdziemy do tego. Jeszcze raz. Talenty.
Talents define your character abilities. They are grouped into categories that are displayed all around your avatar in this window.
Wow.
Here, for example, is the mining and inventory. Excellent. On the left is the list of categories
Architect.
that correspond to this group. Click on the inventory. Each category hosts several talents. Talents can be upgraded from level 1 up to level 5 by spending talent points. Each level acquired boosts a certain characteristic, described just below its name. For example, here the nanopack upgrades help to increase the size of the inventory by 200 liters for
Jezu
each
Chryste.
talent level acquired. The amount of talent points you currently have is displayed on the top of the screen. Talent points, shown here, accumulate at a slow rate even when you are offline.
Zostawię na
The
miesiąc i
Invest
wrócę.
Points button allows you to instantly train a particular talent. You need to have enough points for the talent you are aiming for. To accumulate points more quickly, queue a talent. Queuing boosts considerably how quickly you gain talent by increasing the accumulation rate. Let's train the first level of nanopack upgrades. Press the queue talent button. As you can see, the selected talent now displays in the queue. You can queue several talents to train one after the other. Note that dependencies between talents might exist, and you should train talents in the right order. See how the acquisition rate is much faster during active learning when a talent is in a queue. It is a good practice to always have several talents scheduled in the queue to be able to train them without interruption. Queued talents also train when you are offline. So, make sure to always have a filled queue that spans a long duration. If the queue ends when you are not online, you will fall back to the slow talent point accumulation rate. Take your time to review the existing talents and think about how you want to plan. At this point, you may be overwhelmed by the number of interfaces and their shortcuts.
Proste.
Thankfully, you don't have to remember all that.
Grałem w Death Stranding, tam był tak zjebany interfejs, że tutaj to jest wszystko czytelne.
The menu on the left is a quick access to the interfaces. And since your mouse is now free, you can simply click on them. Note that you can also select the tools in your toolbar and interact with many more menus and options in this mode.
Report buga.
For example, the notification icon in the lower right part of the screen, which you can now access. An excellent reference is the codecs. You also have access to the windowed codecs that you can browse many topics in the menu here.
Latanka.
Normally when you leave the free mouse mode, temporary windows are closed. Not the windowed codecs. It can be helpful to pin some help content on the side while you are performing the actions described in it. For now, we are going to close this window, as we need the screen space. To do so, another source of help are hints. Hints will appear regularly on the right of the screen, depending on your actions. I've triggered a hint for you right now. You can always find them in the hint window, or by pressing the hint key, so you will never miss one. Okay. Now, close the free mouse mode and let's discover a great activity that is available to you right from the start. Go through the large exits, down the stairs, to the waypoint.
To z lustro?
Welcome to the surrogate VR stations. Here you can control a remote robot in VR telepresence. This is a fantastic way to discover other locations and learn about the possibilities offered in this world. Perhaps you can visit a large organization headquarters, or play tourist in extraordinary places. Here is the way it works. You can enter a VR station by activating it. You can then select a destination site, among those that are public and are made accessible to you. You take control of a robot that awaits in a distant pod. Anyone can deploy a pod in their construct and make it public for visitors. However, as a robot, your capacities are limited, so this is just a way to visit an area remotely. It is not a teleport. These are fake stations, you cannot use them. But I will show you the real one on the way out, a bit later. If you look around, you may have noticed those buttons with a question mark on them. They are info buttons. They are placed in front of points of interest and you can press them to display info. Great. The information closes automatically, or you can close it yourself with a cancel key. Good, let's continue. The next important thing to learn about is the notion of rights.
Co?
Everything you own can be shared with others, but by default
Prawa.
are only accessible by you. For example, try to deactivate the highlighted force field on the left. You can do it by pointing at it and pressing the interaction key, and let's see what happens. You received an action forbidden message, telling you that the owner of this element did not share it with you. This is actually how you can make your construct secure against intruders. Now, in the same way, try to activate the left button, that controls the light above. Again, you don't have the right to activate it. Now instead,
Powinna mi taką
try to
linijką
activate the
napierdzielać po
button on the
głowie.
right.
Źle.
I've given you the right to use it.
Zielone, dobre, Makuła. Nie, proszę mnie nie bić.
This time
Tak.
it worked. You can
Tak,
control
zaufaj
the
nam.
light by pressing this button. To set up an element's rights in a simple way, you can use the right-click menu on an element that you own. Try it on the button in front of you. Here, you can access the share element or
Nie chcę
share
się
construct
dzielić.
options in the construct submenu. These will allow you to grant rights to others. You can now close this menu by pressing the escape key or simply by clicking outside of it. A much more complex system is available for advanced management. It allows for fine-tuned rights control, in particular for organizations. You can share whole constructs, manage specific types of rights, and create groups of people with certain abilities. If you want to find out more, try the rights management tutorial.
Chcę rozbić komuś dom,
Let's move on.
spalić jego
Deactivate the force
dobro.
field on your right by pointing at it and pressing the interaction key. Don't worry, I have given you the proper rights.
Dziękuję
Very
pani.
good. To continue our visit, go down to the lower level, using the elevator at the end of the room. On both sides of this corridor, you will find resurrection nodes. Drawing on the consequences of the Everett interpretation of quantum mechanics,
Resurrekcja.
we were able to design a technology that preserves your state of consciousness across multiple realities. We control the multiverse, in order to branch you onto a version of reality where you happen to respawn, here on one of these platforms, whenever you die. So, you cannot really die, there is always a version of the universe in the multiverse where you wake up, here. Beware that when you die, your inventory will not be preserved, so don't take death too lightly.
Jakiś nowy...
It's
A,
important to know that you can craft or buy your own resurrection nodes. You can then install them in your ship or in your home. When respawning, you will always appear at the nearest active resurrection
Whoa.
node, so in general you won't always end up here in this room.
ale faza, nie?
Alright, we are now almost ready to exit the starting hub. The last step is to collect the components to build a speeder ground vehicle. Follow the waypoint in the direction of the exit.
Ile ma FPS-ów? 13? Nie wiem. Ciężko powiedzieć, nie gram na konsoli, więc nie, dla mnie to wszystko...
Left and right are demonstration versions of two of the most popular UEF hovercraft speeders. These ground vehicles are extremely efficient to quickly navigate the surface of a planet, and you will need one during the
Zrobię
first steps
własne,
of
żebym
your
miał nie
journey.
latać.
Distances are real. Transportation is a necessity. You will need to get a blueprint to acquire these speeders. Each of the highlighted dispensers will grant you the blueprint of the speeder next to them. Get one of them by activating the dispenser. You can pick your favorite, or take them both.
Why not both, tak?
The blueprint is now in your inventory. We will run it later. To deploy a blueprint, you have to have all of its components, materials. You can also create your own blueprints when you want to save a copy of what you've built. This is also how you can mass produce your creations and sell
Mass
them.
produce.
Blueprints are like intellectual property and can become very precious. That being said, this portion of the introduction is finished.
Yes.
Look around you. This room is a small museum showing many elements and material. Welcome to the outside world. In front of you is a large landing area where many ships come and go. Let's actually go to the other side. There we will find the market and the institutes. Follow the waypoint ahead of you.
Co
You
te-
can run by pressing the run modifier. You
Shiftem się
can
biega.
also sprint at great speed by hovering above the ground thanks to your jetpack. Simply double tap the forward key. Try it now. Very good. Now, let's cross the landing pad.
Wow.
Great, we are now at the district's market. Let's buy a bit more fuel for our speeder. Head towards the waypoint and activate a market pod.
Jak to wygląda? Czuję się, że Niemcy już tu są. Czekaj, nie, ty patrz. Polacy też. Dołącz się do Niemców. Co ta mapa chce ode mnie? Kup paliwo. Okej.
This market pod interface is very similar to the nanomarket interface you saw earlier. There are however some key differences, which we will get to shortly. Here again, you can see the different market orders for nitron fuel, with the current market's name appearing in orange. Since there are sell orders on this market for nitron, you can use the simplified instant buy option. Instant buy will pick the best offer on the market where you currently are.
Kupimy
It is a
najdroższą,
very
nie?
good method
Tak?
for beginners to easily buy something. Simply click on the local, enter a quantity here, like 10 liters.
100.
Keep an eye on the
Stać mnie.
proposed price to compare it to the average regional prices to avoid potential price gouges.
Kurde. Tak? Halo? Wszystko ok? Kupiło? Tak? Już mamy? Babo? Kosmiczna? Kurde, kupiłem za dużo, może zepsułem rynek. Doszło załamania rynku. Nie wiem, kupię 10 może jeszcze zaraz nitrony, tak? Dobra cena jest, tak? Lokalny zakup.
When you are ready, simply confirm your purchase with the confirm button. Congratulations.
Kupiłem 200 już
You
chyba.
just acquired nitron.
Aha.
However, it will not go directly into your inventory. Instead,
Okay.
it is waiting for you inside the market container. Let's open this market's container by selecting the container tab.
Gość stoi z pistoletem, tak? Co tam? Chcesz zastrzelić ekran? Ty zaraz, dobra. Nie rozumiem teraz. Gdzie jest jakiś market tab? Chyba, że to jest open market container. Okej, jest tutaj.
On the left side is your current inventory. On the right side is the market container. Here you can see the nitron you just purchased. Note that if you want to put a sell order on something, you can simply drag and drop it from your inventory to the market container.
Okej,
A
interfejs
quicker
jest spoko.
option is to use the local
Dobra.
instant sell window. That will try to get you the best price on offer on the local market.
Ja będę sprzedał drogo.
Now,
Miał
to
wysokiej
get your
jakości
fuel,
nitron.
simply drag and drop the nitron from the market container to your inventory.
Już to zrobiłem. O Jezu. Tu jest ten nitron. O Boże. O, trochę przegiąłem. Jeden nitron. To jest, kurde, nie, tanio skóry nie sprzedam. Może ktoś to kupi za 500 tych helmutów? Nie wiem, co to za jednostka jest. Trwanie. 3 miesiące, nie spieszy mi się.
Great. You are now an accomplished trader. When you are ready,
Dziękuję.
you can close the market interface by clicking on the... Before we go to the Institute Plaza, let's have a look at the connected surrogate VR stations, just behind you. Follow the waypoint. I invite you to come back here at the end of this tutorial and activate any of these surrogate VR stations. You will be presented with a list of incredible sites to visit, anywhere in the world, through a remote-controlled robot. You can sort them by the number of recent visitors, to see the most popular first.
Baba.
This is a great way to discover what is possible here. Let's now go in the direction of the plaza, but follow the waypoint to the district teleporters first.
Chcę kopać już drewno. Chcę być spokojnym rolnikiem.
In front of you are teleporters that grant you instant access to any of the 10 districts around the Ark ship. Each of these districts is identical to the one you are currently in, but Novians will start their journey in any one of them at random. You can use these teleporters to quickly reach a particular market, or to meet with friends on another district. Now, let's follow the waypoint to one of the most important places of this district, the Institute Plaza, just at the top of the stairs.
Plaża, okej.
In front of you is a map of the plaza, with the different institute buildings. There is an institute for each core activity. Go and visit them after we are done.
No.
They are fantastic ways to discover the many possibilities that are offered to you. Also, each of them hosts teleporters to interactive tutorials on mining, piloting, building, market operations, industry, etc.
Sraning.
Note that this district is not unique. As we saw just before, there are 10 similar districts around the Ark ship. Each Alioth district is also paired with a similar district on the Sanctuary Twin Moon. So, you will find plenty of opportunities to get back to the institutes and tutorials wherever you are. Finally, let's get to the last step of our introduction, the Twin Moon Shuttle service. Follow the waypoint.
Hej. Jedziemy promem, tak? Do Szwecji.
Now, turn left and follow the waypoint again.
Ty, zaraz, baba. Trudne wylosowało. Wygnany. Obiecali mi samochodzik i pojazd w przejażdżkę promem. Dobra, jest jakaś rampa. Mi się ten bilet należał po prostu. W sumie zaraz, to z czyjeś? Okay, kto mnie teraz powstrzyma? Pilot. A, zabronił cwaniak. Ale tu jest tylko bezpieczna strefa, tak? Skaner. I skaner działa na ziemi. Faktycznie, wiesz co się dowiem. Ground elementy, tankowanko, manewrowanko, konstruktowanko, naprawianko. No nic. Jedno co mnie interesuje to zniszczonko tak naprawdę. Czy tak, kosmiczne Allegro jest, gdzie można kosmicznego CD-pa zrobić, tak? I zarobić na to pieniędzy? Okej.
Here we are. The button in front of you calls a free Sanctuary Moon Shuttle service. This shuttle will connect you to a similar district on the Sanctuary Twin Moon. As soon as this introduction is over, I will guide you to get there.
Ja nie chcę.
Then you can claim a tile for yourself using the Sanctuary Territory unit you collected earlier. Let's take a look at the shuttle on your right.
Przyzwoity, nie powiem.
At this stage, you may not want to deploy your speeder blueprint. If you do it here, on Alioth, you will have to dismantle it to redeploy it again on the Sanctuary Twin Moon. To learn how to dismantle a speeder, you should go to the building tutorial in the Building Institute. You should instead keep your blueprint ready to deploy when you are on the Sanctuary Twin Moon. You will need it to travel to and claim a free tile. Remember, to deploy your speeder blueprint, simply double-click on it in your inventory.
Aha! Myślałem, że muszę zrobić.
Alright. That's it. You should now be prepared for the incredible adventure ahead of you.
Yeah.
I will always be near you to help if you
Dziękuję.
need it. Remember to visit the tutorials, discover the beauty of the world with surrogate stations, and learn more by using the codex and the institutes.
Więc tak, dziękuję pani za wszystko.
Just one more thing.
Ah.
I put some broad objectives for you in the upper left of the screen. These are suggestions of milestones to follow to properly build up your experience in Dual Universe, and they are very much recommended. Feel free to follow these at any time you feel ready, or to bypass them entirely. Check the objectives section of the map for more details on how to complete these objectives. From now on, I'll be much less directive with you on how to do things. The first of these
overly
milestones is
attached
for you to reach
girlfriend.
the Sanctuary Twin Moon. You can use the shuttle service right next to you.
Nie, zrobię tam.
Safe travel, Novian. I'll see you there.
To jest tak, jak był ten mem. Dziękuję pani za wszystko, co dzięki pani nauce osiągnąłem. A co pan osiągnął? Nic. Dobra, więc tak, nagraliśmy pierdzieloną godzinę tutoriala.